So what do you do when you have someone who's almost perfect for your home? There's just one little problem, and the problem is they can't get approved for the park. What do you do in that situation? I've had this situation happen. You're going to have this situation happen. Let's say someone has cash. They saw your home. They love your home. They want to buy your home. You take them to the office, and if you've done your research, you already know what the mobile home office community is looking for, right? They have income requirements. They have credit requirements. They have criminal background requirements. They have pet requirements, you name it. So let's say they're missing something. Let's say it's credit. You'll come across this one a lot. Maybe they have the income. Maybe they have no criminal background, but they don't have the credit. Or the other one, maybe they don't have the employment. What do you do in those situations? In this video, I'm going to show you a couple ideas that might be helpful for you. And at the end of it, I'm going to give you a free resource that maybe will be helpful for you next time you encounter this situation. So the number one thing I want to bring up is the power of using a letter of explanation. Are you familiar with these? If you're not, it kind of comes from the world of mortgage lending. I have a background in mortgage lending. My wife, my brother, they were in the mortgage lending industry for a very long time. And when they were trying to get a borrower approved for a loan and there was some sort of missing thing that the underwriter wanted to see, they would help the borrower create a letter of explanation. Usually that was to explain something that was on their credit or something in their background that didn't quite meet the underwriting guidelines, to help the underwriter get more context to what was really going on with that person's life and maybe make an exception. So I took this concept and began applying it to the world of mobile homes, and it's helped me get a lot of deals accomplished and achieved that would not have otherwise. So at the end of this video, I'll give you a resource where you can download kind of a template that I've used on an actual, deal, and then you can kind of remix it. So here's the idea. Let's say you have somebody who has income, everything's good except their credit. Now, certain things on credit are just unforgivable from most communities, right? So if there's a bankruptcy that just happened, most communities are not going to make an exception on that. Or if there was an eviction that happened recently, a lot of communities aren't going to roll the dice and take a risk on that, right? So you kind of have to know, what are you trying to, overcome exactly? Another thing I'll point out is if it's a big corporate real estate investment trust companies that are corporate across the entire country, sometimes it's hard to get to a decision maker and plead your case, even with the letter of explanation. But if you have access to a decision maker, which is usually possible in the smaller mom and pop communities or even the medium-sized communities where they might own maybe a dozen mobile home communities, usually you can get to that decision maker. In fact, I encourage you highly, build those relationships gradually so that you can get to those decision makers. You're going to need them when it's time to get deals approved. And so if you can pick up the phone, send an email, and get to the decision maker, and you've earned their trust, and they know that you're not just going to send them, bad tenants, then they'll start making exceptions for you. And one of the big ways to do that is through a letter of explanation. So let me show you an example. Here's just a rough one that we used a long time ago. And the reality is you can make your own version of this, but I want to just point out a couple things that you want to do. You want to make it professional, and you want to get the person's story. Stories really sell, and they really can, move people emotionally to make decisions that maybe their logic wouldn't want them to do. So find out, what is the story? Usually there's a story behind why someone got behind on their debt or making payments, etc. So figure out what that story is and then help them craft this letter. In the past, we used to just tell the borrower, hey, can you put this letter together? And sometimes we will get their letter and then we'll help refine it for them. These days, you also have AI who can help you further refine it and make it better. But I wouldn't rely too heavy on AI because sometimes it can sound fake, right? Because it is. So make it authentic, make it real, but if you need some help constructing it, AI can help you with that. But the bottom line is, tell their story, bring it to life for them. And then, if you read through this letter, it just essentially explains the story of why they had a heartache. And then it expresses how important, getting homeownership is to them, how serious they are about being a good tenant and a good resident and taking care of their property, things of that nature. Now, let's take a step back. Let's say you own the mobile home community or you're the manager. Do you want shady tenants or good tenants? Do you want tenants who aren't going to pay on time or tenants who are going to pay on time? Do you want tenants who are going to take care of their property or constantly be having to bother them to take care of it, right? So ultimately, what do they want? They want a tenant who's going to come in and follow the rules and make their payments on time. So the point of the letter is to give them confidence that this is a person that is going to do those things. Now I have a question for you. What if they're not going to be a good tenant? Should you put your name on the line, create a letter of explanation or help them and push them to get approved? I would not recommend that, because the moment that you do that, what's going to happen? The next time you have someone who you're trying to get approved, and maybe the next person really is a good person, do you think the park's going to trust you? No, they're not. So letters of explanation are useful for quality tenants who are missing maybe just one or two things that you really want to put your name on the line for and go to bat for. This is very effective with smaller mobile home communities and medium-sized mobile home communities. And if you establish a good relationship with the decision maker, the underwriter, then these can be very effective for you. If you want a template, you can download it. I'll put a link here in the description on YouTube. You can go there, download it, but I'm sure you can figure this out yourself. But I want to just give you kind of this insight because this has been very helpful for me, and I think it'll be helpful for you.